I want to share with you this morning a very powerful idea I learned from my Rebbe, Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach was in the Cheder Yichud. The custom was to give a present to the Kala. Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach was very poor, from a very poor family. He couldn't afford a nice gift. So instead he gave his wife, instead of giving her a physical gift, he gave her an emotional gift. He said, I have an atiyah towards anger. I get angry sometimes. And I actually did see one time Rav Shlomo Zalman get angry, and it was the most angry I've ever seen someone get in their life. It was a show. It was for 30 seconds. He screamed at me, and then afterwards, he smiled. But he said to his wife, I have a tendency towards anger. I want to make a deal with you. For the first 10 years of our marriage, if we have an argument, you win. Now, that could be looked at something condescending, putting people down. Yeah, you're right. That doesn't work. He means like, really, I take the blame for it. Shlomo Zalman Auerbach was being extremely sincere about this. And this concept of taking the blame for something and apologizing, even when you think that you're 100% right, it's such an important and powerful concept in the Jewish religion, right? We find makaros to it, even from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Even HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Moshe Rabbeinu took blame for things that really didn't happen, and they apologized for it, right? But one of the most interesting and powerful examples is the Gemara in Sanhedrin, Daf Yud Aleph 11a. The Gemara talks about a shear that Rebbe was giving, and Rebbe was in the room, and suddenly it stunk. He realized that someone had garlic for breakfast that morning, and there was an odor of garlic that was odoriferous. It was pungent. It was a terrible smell. And Rebbe in the middle of the lecture said, whoever had garlic, could you please leave? I just can't continue like this. And none other than Rav Chia, who was one of the biggest tzaddikim in the room, he got up and he walked out. When Rav Chia got up, everybody got up, and Rebbe found himself lecturing, giving shir to an empty room. And that was obviously quite disturbing for Rebbe. Later on, Rebbe's son met up with Rav Chia, and he asked him that, how could you do this? How could you eat garlic before my father's shir and cause him such an embarrassment to have every single person leave the shir? And Rav Chia said, in fact, I wasn't the one who ate the garlic, but I took blame and I apologized for it because I didn't want to embarrass the person who really did it. And the Sefer Hasidim makes a point here. There was some truth in what Rav Chia said, because we have a rule, Kol Yisrael Revim Zeh B'Zeh, all the Jewish people are responsible for each other. So in fact, Rav Chia was correct in taking blame for this. This is one of the biggest obstacles we find to apologize and taking blame, because the other side is really guilty. And it's not easy. It's not easy when a person feels that they're justified and right to apologize. But I learned an important lesson from Reb Chaim Shmulevitz in the machlokas, in the dispute between Karach and Hadassah. Right? So the Torah writes, there will never be a machlokas. There will never be a fight like Karach and Hadassah again. Says Reb Chaim Shmulevitz, it was the last fight where one side was completely right and one side was completely wrong. It might be 99-1. You might be 99% right and 1% wrong. But for that 1%, you should take responsibility. Yeah? And you can apologize. And when you apologize, it will be the most powerful experience you ever had. I just got a letter this morning from someone who was very upset with me. It was something I did, and I don't regret it. Um, I spoke in a certain neighborhood, and people got quite upset what I said. I usually say what I feel, and sometimes get in trouble for that. But I apologized. I still blame. And I got such a warm, wonderful letter after receiving such harsh feedback. It says, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah. And now we're friends again. What a beautiful idea. All you have to do is open your mouth and say 2 words, right? I'm sorry. And that's it. It's all over, right? And now we learn from Rav Chia, and we learn from Moshe Rabbeinu did the same thing. And the Kadosh Baruch Hu did the same thing. Yeah. Kadosh Baruch Hu did the same thing, in fact. Yeah. So the point is like this. The point is that use this technique, use this um, use this methodology of apologizing whenever you can. Because remember, you're always guilty. There'll never be another dispute where one side is completely right and one side is completely wrong. There's some elements of your behavior that needs an apology, right? And I'll tell you how far it goes. I was talking to one of the Gedoli psychologists in the world, yeah, someone who Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach told me Tishma Kolo, yeah, Yitzhak Twersky, right, who's the nephew of Rabbi Dr. Alan Chorsky. And he told me, he said, even if you're dealing with somebody who has serious mental issues and they are acting with you in a very unpleasant and difficult way, he said, apologize because, in their world, you did something wrong. It seems like it doesn't make any sense. But in their world, you did something wrong, and that's already a reason to apologize. You caused that person pain, even though it seems to defy the boundaries of normative behavior. But that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. You still were the cause of their pain. So let's keep that in mind because there's so many relationships where we encounter unpleasant trees and difficulties and fights and things because we feel we're right and I'm wrong. Yeah. I know so many people call me up and say, this person did this and this person did this, and this happened and that happened. How could I possibly apologize to such a person? And the answer is, it's hard, it's difficult, especially when you're hurt. But it's just the opposite. The more that you're able to muster up your energy and to realize that you can apologize, you can do wrong, right? And and say I'm sorry. Right? The two most powerful words in the world is I'm sorry, and the three most powerful words in the world are I was wrong. I was wrong. I made a mistake. Yeah, I made a mistake. So your two, three, four most powerful words. The two most powerful words are I'm sorry. The three most powerful words is I am wrong, and the four most powerful words are I made a mistake. Right? Utilize those phrases when you need to and they will do incredible things for you. Now, it has to be sincere. If you say, like one person once hurt me, it was unbelievable. He almost destroyed my life. And I was sure I was going to get an apology at Yom Kippur. And I get an email saying, I'm sorry that you're upset from what happened. And as Dr. Avram Tversky, Rabbi Dr. Avram Tversky once said, how do you feel like at the other end of such brilliant consolation? You know how I felt? I felt like a piece of garbage. Anyway, I got in touch with one of my talmidim who got in touch with this person, and a few days later, okay, it was already Motzi Yom Kippur before Sukkot came in, so we were at peace. Yeah, and you could be at peace with every single Jew. And I'm standing here now, as Nate's is about to begin. I'm sitting by the coastal, and I'm wondering why am I on this side of the coastal and not on the other side? Right, this morning I heard the Arab call to prayer, and they're all going up the ramp, getting ready for their prayers. Of course, they're not because it's too early. They just wake everybody up with their call to prayer. They don't actually come to the mosque over here. But the point is, why are we on this side and they are on that side? And I'll tell you the reason. The reason is because people are not using two, three, and four word phrases. Yeah, I'm sorry, I am wrong, I made a mistake. Right? Two, three, four-word phrases will bring us back to base of English. Because when you use those phrases, yeah, that's how you make peace between people. People's egos, people's nerves, people's feelings are very fragile today. Yeah? And as right as you think you are, right, it's just not worth it. We could be sitting on the other side of that wall, in the base of English, bringing korbanos much, much closer to Hashem than we really are. And what's stopping us? Those two, three, and four words. So let's ingrain them in our vocabulary, right? Nail them into our lexicon. Right? Let's make them part. Let's be margal ourselves. Let's practice saying it, many, many times. These phrases. And B'ezrat Hashem, in the schus of this, in the schus of caring about how other people feel, about being sensitive to their emotions, about taking responsibility because all the Jewish people are connected. And if somebody was hurt from your words, right, then that we should be hurt as well. If someone's feeling pain, we should be feeling pain. If another Jew is in pain, we should be feeling pain. And especially if we were the cause and or we have ability to rectify the situation, we should do everything we can to rectify it because we really want to be on the other side of this wall. Enough davening outside. Let's go in already, right? And that's what's really holding us back. And Kadosh Baruch Hu should help us. He should help us to accomplish this. He should help us to have peace with every single person. And as I always say from Moshe Sternbach, right? Hashem is waiting for one thing. He's waiting for that very, very difficult situation where you think it's impossible to make peace with that person. And you do it, and then you'll do it, and the gula will happen. Right? It could be that act is going to bring the gula, and then the entire gula will be called on your name. If your name is Shandi, yeah, and Shandi apologizes to Sarah, yeah, and it's really hard for you, then it'll be called Shandy's Gula. Yeah? Or if your name is Gershon, it'll be Gershon's Gula. Yeah? Gershon's Gula. Right? That's all you have to do. All you have to do, it's a big thing. But by making peace with one person, says Rav Moshe Sternbach, yeah, what's holding back the Gula today is machlokas. Yeah? What's holding back the Gula today is machlokas. And if we fix up one machlokas, that could be the act which ushers in the Gula. Hashem should help us and give us incredible siyata d'shmaya, the greatest siyata d'shmaya, to fix up ways, to change our vocabulary, not to change our vocabulary, to enriching our vocabulary with these 2, 3, and 4 word phrases, and in doing so, to usher in the Gula very quickly. Amen. Kain Tirotza.